Inside the Doctor's Head, Part 1. Hello and welcome to the channel. In today's video, I shine a light on myself and my kind. Yes, occasionally I indulge in an exercise of self-examination. It is apparently good for the soul. And I think insights into the psyche of a doctor is useful for patients or potential patients because, as I alluded to in my last video, building trust between doctor and patient is crucial if the patient is to subject themselves to treatment by a stranger. This relationship is more than a special relationship. A special relationship is what you would call the relationship between the UK and the USA, for example. The relationship between doctor and patient is much more sacred than that. Besides, life is at stake here, the patient's life. So most doctors, myself included, being mindful of that, spend time perusing this relationship in order to facilitate our work with our patients. But what about the other side of the equation? In countries like Switzerland, where doctors are in a free market, so to speak, aka are actively chosen by patients, especially in a out-of-hospital setting, there is a selection process which is inherent in the system. In many ways, I prefer this freedom of choice for patients. When I was an NHS doctor in the UK, I was foisted on patients, and that was that. There was no real need to build a long-term relationship as, number one, I was a hospital doctor in a mostly acute setting, in a training position, mostly knowing I would be soon moving on into a kind of rotation into another hospital, perhaps in another region, in another town, in another part of the country. And number two, I was not yet mature enough to think anything of the patient-doctor relationship. Now, as a grown-up doctor, I am pleased to report that I actually think of this aspect of medicine, and not just occasionally. With this happy news in mind, I want to delve into doctor archetypes in this video, and this is heavily linked to the motivations behind why someone may choose to become a doctor in the first place. So here goes. What are the motivations behind becoming a doctor? Desire to help others. Altruism as a core motivation. Now, many individuals are driven by a strong desire to alleviate human suffering and improve lives, an aspect often rooted in empathy and compassion. Research has shown that empathic individuals are more likely to choose helping professions like medicine, like nursing, like paramedical endeavors, like social service, like caring for infants, and so on. Satisfaction of contributing positively to society, knowing that they make a tangible difference in the lives of patients and communities, can be highly fulfilling for doctors. The opportunity to make a direct and meaningful impact on people's lives is one of the most powerful motivators for pursuing a career in medicine. Healthcare professionals are in a unique position to affect positive change by diagnosing, treating, and preventing diseases. A doctor's ability to alleviate suffering, save lives, and improve health outcomes is in itself a deeply rewarding aspect of the profession. Many individuals are also drawn to medicine because of the profound emotional fulfillment that comes from helping others. In many ways, doctors have the ability to provide comfort during a patient's most vulnerable moments, whether it's delivering difficult news, providing support through a medical crisis, or offering guidance in managing chronic illness. Doctors play a crucial role in shaping the patient's experiences of health and illness. In addition, the human connection that forms between a doctor and their patient can be deeply meaningful in a world where many people feel isolated or disconnected. Physicians have the privilege of offering both medical and emotional support, making a lasting impact on their patients' lives. Many doctors cite this sense of emotional fulfillment as a central reason for staying committed to the field, even when faced with challenges. In addition to the direct treatment of illnesses, medicine offers the opportunity to contribute to the broader public good through preventive care and public health initiatives. Preventive medicine focuses on stopping diseases before they happen, such as through vaccinations, screenings, and lifestyle counseling. Public health professionals work on a larger scale, aiming to prevent health crises and improve the overall health of populations through education, policy change, and global health initiatives. One could add to this group YouTube channels that offer insight, education, if you will, and in a way, propaganda, to use a rather strong word, to influence people's attitudes and experiences of health and health journeys. The opportunity to shape the health of entire communities, tackle public health challenges, and work on preventing future health problems is a powerful motivator for many individuals in the field of medicine. For those with an interest in global health and tackling disparities in healthcare, a career in medicine can provide the tools and platform to make a broad and lasting impact. Intellectual curiosity and passion for science and medicine itself. The desire to be part of a field that contributes to medical advancements and innovations can also drive people to pursue this path. One of the foremost reasons people are drawn to a career in medicine is the intellectual challenge it presents. Medicine is a field that constantly evolves, driven by advances in science, technology, and research. The human body is an intricate system, and understanding how it functions, diagnosing diseases, and finding effective treatments requires critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and a deep understanding of biology, chemistry, and physics, hence the length of time it takes to become a doctor. Lifelong learning. Medicine is a field where learning never truly stops. With medical research continually advancing, doctors must keep up to date with new treatments, technologies, and guidelines. The pursuit of knowledge is perpetual, making it an intellectually stimulating career. For those who enjoy the idea of continuous learning, medicine offers endless opportunities to explore new developments, improve expertise, and expand one's understanding of human health. The ability to diagnose diseases and determine the best course of treatment is, quite honestly, fun for those who are suited to it, of course. It's one of the reasons I stay motivated to keep on learning about the human body, to keep on learning about new treatments, new diagnostic strategies. The challenge of unraveling medical mysteries and arriving at the correct diagnosis is one of the reasons many doctors, myself included, find their work fulfilling and intellectually satisfying. In short, medicine is never boring. One day is never quite like the next. There's always something new, always something entertaining, always something stimulating to keep us going. The influence of personal and family background. In many cases, people with family members who are doctors are more likely to pursue a similar path simply due to familiarity, which is logical, or due to encouragement or expectations. Personal or familial health experiences also play a part. For some, a personal or family health experience can inspire them to become a doctor to understand, confront, or prevent suffering. The community needs and representation. Some people feel a strong sense of responsibility to serve their communities, especially if they come from so-called undeserved backgrounds, or minority backgrounds, if you will. People who may feel that they are not appreciated enough, they're underrepresented in their communities for a specific field. This could be a very strong motivator. Psychological resilience and growth is another factor. Due to the challenging nature of medical training, this alone fosters resilience, which is useful for the eventual practice of medicine, which is, of course, for life, unless there is another event that is more motivating, stronger than the initial desire to study and practice medicine, which then steers people away from the profession. But in general, for those who stay in the profession, this force, which is nothing other than the will to, overcome challenges, basically show resilience, appeals to those who are seeking personal growth. It's one of those professions where personal growth definitely comes with time, and that's a good thing. A sense of purpose. Doctors often derive a profound sense of purpose from their work, which can serve as a powerful intrinsic motivation. Building meaningful relationships, forming bonds with patients, families, and medical teams provides a sense of connection as well as a purpose. Nothing more satisfying than feeling part of a team, feeling part of a squadron, feeling part of a society with a common goal. What other reasons are there for people going into medicine? Well, financial stability and job security, for one. While intrinsic motivations like helping others are often cited as reasons to pursue medicine, there are also practical considerations such as financial stability and job security that make medicine an attractive career option. Now, medicine is one of the most well-compensated professions worldwide. This is true. However, it's certainly not a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes, obviously, a long period of education, of training, to even get to the bottom rung of a specialty that you want to get into. And then there is, of course, the postgraduate training that's also long. It requires a lot of sacrifice. personal sacrifice, perhaps even familial sacrifice, and years of blood, sweat, and tears. If I am to exaggerate a little bit. But the fact does remain that, while salaries vary by country, specialization, and level of experience, doctors generally enjoy high earning potential. In many regions, medical professionals earn competitive salaries that reflect their years of training, expertise, and the demanding nature of their work. For individuals who are financially motivated, the financial rewards of a career in medicine can be a significant factor in their decision to enter the field. But that would require quite a focused mind at a young age for this to be intrinsically true. In countries like the UK, where one has to pretty much decide very early on in life, before the age of 18, perhaps even 16, the money factor would have to be locked in by the time an individual even understands the value of money. So, in other countries where you decide much later in life to become a doctor, that might be a more plausible factor. But, it's for me who naturally is British trained, I struggle to see the ease in that. I think it's more true of British trained doctors, at least those that train at the usual, or start their training at the usual age of between 16 and 18. I think it's more true of us that we are much more naive when we enter medical school. We just do it for the usual intrinsic reasons, which may be a little bit naive, maybe a little bit childish. But there we have it. Job security is another important aspect of pursuing a career in medicine, of course. The demand for healthcare professionals, especially doctors, is expected to rise due to an aging population, advances in healthcare technology, and an increased focus on healthcare access. According to various projections, healthcare occupations are expected to grow significantly over the next few decades, with a high demand for medical practitioners. I think in many countries, we are already starting to feel the pinch. There are doctor shortages everywhere, even in Switzerland. I would say especially in Switzerland, which is thankfully a country that attracts a lot of foreign doctors, actually foreign professionals in general, who are able to fill the gap. I am a foreigner in Switzerland. I'm British. So I find I'm actually quite typical of many doctors in Switzerland. The homegrown doctors are rather few and far between, to be honest. Anyway, it's not quite the focus of this video to talk about doctor shortages, but one of the potential causes of the doctor shortages are the multiple languages in Switzerland, where, especially in cities like the one I work in, where you have two languages that are both official, and also in many other regions where there may be one principal language, but there are other also almost equally important languages. You really need to be proficient in as many as possible in order to effectively serve the community. Medical careers, of course, offer a wide range of employment opportunities in diverse settings. Doctors can work in hospitals, in private practices like I do, in academic institutions, research organizations, and even governmental and non-governmental organizations. This diversity in employment offers flexibility for doctors in terms of career choice, work-life balance, and professional goals. Respect and prestige. Now, we all know medicine has long been regarded as a noble profession. Doctors often enjoy a high level of respect and prestige in society. I think more so in the past than now, to be completely honest. In the days where doctors were seen as individuals who dedicated their lives to helping others and improving public health, are perhaps behind us in general, but there are still vestiges of that, especially in countries in the developing world, prominently, much more than in a Western society. This social respect can be a significant motivator for many who seek to be part of a profession that holds an esteemed place in society. There is also the social impact or the influence of media and cultural representations. Portrayal of doctors in the media, for example. Everyone knows of the role played by George Clooney, for example, everyone's favorite pediatrician. In, of course, the TV series ER. Cultural expectations and ideals. In some societies, doctors are seen as heroes or protectors, creating a cultural motivation to pursue the profession. The demanding nature of the profession can serve as a barrier, but those with intrinsic motivation find meaning that helps them navigate challenges. In fact, a health-related challenge is often a springboard to entering the profession. This phenomenon is actually very common. I can definitely say with confidence that behind almost every doctor is a sick person, either they themselves as a child, or a relative, or a friend, or some sort of inspiring figure in their life. While external rewards are present, doctors often report that the intrinsic satisfaction of helping others is the greatest reward. Being a respected member of the community also means that doctors are often looked up to as role models. In many cultures, physicians are seen as pillars of the community, offering guidance and support not only through medical care, but also as leaders in promoting healthy lifestyles and providing advice. For those who value making a difference both personally and professionally, the social standing that comes with a career in medicine can be an added incentive. There are many opportunities as well for specialization, as one of the great attractions of medicine as a career is the wide variety of specialties and subspecialties available. You have anything from pediatrics to surgery to psychiatry to radiology. This diversity allows individuals to find a niche that aligns with their personal interests, strengths, and goals. Also, medicine offers numerous opportunities for ongoing professional development and evolution. As new medical knowledge emerges, physicians may pursue an additional training in emerging subspecialties or take on leadership roles in research or teaching. This ability to adapt, evolve, and shift one's career focus over time is one of the reasons medicine remains an attractive and dynamic field. So, in many ways, medicine can be just a starting a stepping stone to other professional endeavors. And of course, you have the possibility for global opportunities. Medicine is very much a global profession, and doctors are needed all over the world. For those with a desire to travel or work internationally, medicine provides numerous opportunities. Doctors are in demand in countries both with established healthcare systems and those in need of medical professionals to help build or improve healthcare infrastructure. Working abroad. And I am the poster child for this, of course. Many medical professionals choose to work in international settings, whether through humanitarian organizations, global health programs, or by simply joining missions to provide care in underrepresented or underserved regions of the world. In addition to providing invaluable medical services, these opportunities allow doctors to experience different cultures, to gain new perspectives, and to make a tangible impact on global health. And of course, there is the cross-cultural experience. For those interested in global health or public health policy, working in medicine offers opportunities for cross-cultural learning and collaboration. Doctors who work internationally often find that they gain a richer understanding of health disparities, healthcare systems, and the social determinants of health, all of which can contribute to a more holistic approach to patient care and public health. Similar to my 2 previous videos on patient archetypes, I think there are naturally also doctor archetypes. Fair is fair, right? If patients can be classified along psychological lines, so can doctors. Now, this is of course not a pointless exercise. For a doctor, studying a patient's psyche is important to understand how best to treat them, to relate to them, to have a rapport with them. Get this part wrong, and a whole series of misunderstandings and miscommunications arise, leading to, at best, a frayed relationship with the patient, which is of course regrettable because the doctor-patient relationship is supposed to be sacred. Not to idealize it to fantasy proportions, but I think a minimum of mutual respect, even affection, is required, particularly for a GP-patient connection to work long-term. So, without further ado, and bearing in mind the motivations behind taking that first step towards the medical school gate, here are a few archetypes of doctors that I have personally noted. In no particular order, we have, drumroll, number 1, the Joker. This archetype should be familiar to most people. This type of doctor most often goes into pediatrics or child medicine, the Patch Adams type, if you have ever watched the famous True film starring the late Robin Williams. Behind the Joker doctor, though, is often a deep tragedy or a traumatic event that paradoxically motivates him or her to keep going, to keep smiling, even keep laughing in the face of adversity. The joking persona may be nothing more than a coping mechanism disguised as a personality trait. The Joker doctor is often very courageous and will go to heroic lengths to save their patient, sometimes against all odds. They are the last to throw in the towel at resuscitation attempts, for example, and will do anything to make a patient feel listened to, cared for, and comforted, even breaking a few rules along the way to do so. Number 2, the God. We all know this type. Full of self-importance, the God is often one of the most immature doctors there is. They are often young, meaning under 40, and, not to be sexist, just my unbiased observation, mostly male. But occasionally I come across female doctors with a God complex, and they are almost exclusively surgeons, Please don't kill the messenger. This is accurate observation on my part. And for those of you who will come back at me with a retort that this is a feature of cardiologists too, I will reply, yes, you mean heart surgeons, not the heart physicians. For most specialties, you have a so-called medical part, and this refers to the physicians, the doctors who don't operate, what I call the knifeless doctors, and those who do. So for the gut, you have the gastroenterologist who will do your colonoscopy, and if they find a tumor, they will send you to the tummy surgeons, the colorectal surgeons, to cut it out. If you're a heart specialist, the cardiologist, the physician, the heart physician, thinks you have a heart blockage problem, or you need a heart transplant, or you need a bypass operation, they will send you to their surgical counterpart, the cardiothoracic surgeons, and so on and so forth. I understand the gut complex. There is something scary about cutting open a fellow human being and putting them back together again on a daily basis. If you win in this daily battle time and time again, whilst you're navigating this challenge of basically cutting open a human being, you must think you can fly. Hence the gut complex. The shadow side to a doctor with a gut complex is a frightened, nervous individual who resorts to rituals and routines to keep the ship running. I have seen operations cancelled because on that day there was a new surgical nurse or a new operating room technician who turned up and put on pop music and not the preferred classical music of the surgeon, who, as a result, freaked out to the extent that he or she couldn't operate anymore. So spooked they were that their orderly routine had been broken, and so superstitious they were that as a consequence, everything was bound to go wrong. God complex doctors are sticklers for order and calm and will go to bizarre lengths to protect this order and calm, which is ultimately done to protect the patient. So I by no means blame them. This is how they are. And as a result of having watched them over the years, I basically have no problem with the God complex doctors. They have a bad reputation. They're perhaps a bit difficult to work with, but they are actually sticklers of protocol. They follow guidelines to a T. They never deviate. And they're very conscientious people. This video is getting quite long already, so I shall discuss the other archetypes in a part 2, which is to come shortly. Do you think it is useful to categorize doctors in this kind of way? Does it help you personally in the interaction with your own doctor as to what their motivation is to deal with your medical problem, to diagnose and treat you? Do you feel empowered to see what lies behind the veil, so to speak? Do you have such categories in your own profession, vis-a-vis your customer or client? Do you mind being under a microscope in this way? Or do you find it way too intrusive? Share your thoughts with me on this. I'm curious. Please go for it in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this topic. And, of course, as per usual, any medical questions you may have, feel free to share them with me or ask me. It's Christmas. Go on, ask a doc.